Hello. I'm so sorry I'm late. Moderator on it as usual, per usual. What's new? What's new? Oh my gosh. Shout out to my moderator. Thank you for leaving my social links in the chat. Um also, oh really? That's crazy. That's wild. Um of course, having a live stream at this time I think would be on the East Coast, of course, it's midnight, so maybe it's not a good time for them, but it's definitely a good time for us, right? Especially I know for you because you're in Japan. So I know that's a big deal. I'm trying to see if I can put this thing on my phone. Let's see. Ooh, I have so many reminders. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna take care of these after this is over. Um, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you never know. I've been going live. So what's crazy is a lot of my viewers have been still coming in this late. Um, but yes, I should probably start doing a live a little bit earlier. I agree. So it's okay. It's okay if there's not much people today. That's okay. Um, most of my listenership and everything is in Japan anyway. So we're okay. We're good. Um, I'll give it a few minutes to see if anybody else pops in. And then we'll just chill. Just chill. Have a little chat. My last live for my birthday live has like 300 almost 300 views. The watch hours is going up. My goodness. Very happy about that. I scheduled this live stream, but for some reason I can't go live on my phone, so that's weird. Like I can't switch it over. See if I can switch it over here. Oops. Right there. Okay. How are you doing, Tanaka-san? How you doing today? Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome. We're about to get into some mental health stuff today, y'all. Super important. Mental health. Very important. Oh, nice. Nice. Thank you to the two people who have already liked this live. Really appreciate y'all. Ay, 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 ay. 9:09 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here in Seattle. What a day. And my hair is like, my hair doesn't want to cooperate today. See. All right. Should I put a trigger warning? Because we're going to do a mental health live stream. Yeah, actually, that would be a good idea. Mental health live stream. I'm going to keep it pretty general, but yeah, I think it's still a good idea to put some sort of trigger warning, maybe about like um talking about themes, just like different thematics, like different themes of mental health and different aspects of it, maybe some personal stories. So maybe a couple. I won't share too much. Mostly just about uplifting mental health, and yeah, kind of doing the positive stuff, you know what I mean? Not too much. Mental health should be kind of, you should kind of get into it slowly, right? You shouldn't do mental health too crazy, especially if people don't know you. Not disgusting. This will be disgusting. Yeah. I think you meant disgusting, right? uh, oh, okay. Now it doesn't want to work with me at all. Y'all, my hair is always a mess. But again, what's new? Look at this. What a mess. It's okay. Mental health and life is messy, right? I posted on my Instagram story. I let people know I was going live. So that's okay. Ay, ay, ay. Brrr, da, 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 da. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna pin this message here. Thank you to my moderator. Thank you, Tanaka-san. So the desktop version of this live, you can actually go and share screen. So that's pretty cool. I probably won't do it tonight, but oh my god. I should have got a hairbrush. I knew I should have fixed my hair before stream. I just knew it. Okay. Was it 9:12? Okay, cool. um check. And sometimes it's nice to just provide a space where people can go and just like talk and hear somebody talk about their experiences with mental health and all that good stuff too. That could also be nice. I'm still having trouble sending email blasts out via email when I go live. That's another weird thing. I don't know what's up with that, but something is going up with that. I really want to transfer this over to my phone because I feel like it'd work a lot better. I don't think I can. Now that I'm live, I don't think I can. Um, let's see. Ticket sales for my show, April 6th, Sunday. Doors open at 4 p.m. Tickets are $20 a piece. As far as updates, we have about 33 tickets left. I want to say 33 tickets. Yeah. There'll be more marketing, more push behind it here pretty soon. Um, I just leaked a reel. I've been posting about it on my story. So we'll get more. We'll get more people. Um, I'm not feeling too worried about that. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how to transfer this over to my phone if that's possible. Live. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, it's like whoever is meant to be there will be there, just like whoever is meant to be here will be here. If mental health is a huge topic for people, the right people will bump into the live and see it. So yeah, I think I might have to. It's just easier if I have it on my phone. That's the only thing. It's just easier. So yeah, I think. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm live from the computer today. Mhm. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea to go live from my computer, but you know what it is like, it's so weird. If you schedule lives on your desktop and not your phone, for some reason, when you try to go live on your phone, it won't go live. So, learning curve for anybody else out there who wants to live stream, just know that that's a thing. Hello. Hi, Leah. Welcome. I don't know. Do you guys feel like I should restart the live and go on my phone, or should I just stick with the desktop? I feel like it would be easier if I was live from my phone. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. No, that's okay. That's okay. We'll stick with this one. We'll stick. Let me just open it up on my phone real quick. You guys, every time I go live, it's always a learning curve. Every single time. Always a learning curve. Always learning something new. Okay. My MacBook is charged fully, so we should be good. Okay. All right. Camera is clear. Thank you. Make sure to give this live a thumbs up as well. And, another great thing is with lives, I could always keep it up and people could watch it later. You know? Like I said, it's not about how many people, it's who, right? Like who is in the room. That's really important. So, okay. Well, hello. So nice to see y'all. I'm so excited because I feel like I've been figuring out the Twitch piece. So pretty soon I'm going to be able to do dual streams and start building viewers from Twitch and YouTube Live at the same time. I could go live on both platforms. So I'm very excited about that. And I think that once we get that going, we're going to be able to start building something more foundational and it'll be more exciting. Obviously, with me going live on my MacBook and trying to figure this stuff out, it is, I know that I've been kind of doing kind of the same thing where I'm kind of getting on camera, talking, all that stuff. And so I'm super excited to be able to figure out OBS and do smooth transitions and do like green screens and all that stuff and do activities because I think that it'd be really cool to do like live music streams together and walk you all through my process of creating music and then, going over doing like games or stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool, right? To do games on live together. So that's another thing because I know there's a couple of free websites online to play like Pictionary and some other stuff. So it would be cool to make a song live too. That'd be awesome. Yeah, but for now, for today, we're gonna go back to doing our thing. And just talking to the camera and just chilling for the most part. Moderator has already put up a trigger warning. So if mental health is a sensitive subject for you, if you're not comfortable talking about some of the mental health pieces, and you're not comfortable hearing about some subjects that have to do with all aspects of health and overall wellness, this might not be the right stream for you. I wanted to come on here and do a mental health check-in because usually I film it and I put it on my Instagram story. But this time I wanted to do it live because I think that it's super important to also let people here know who follow me and also people who will be watching this in the future the importance of mental health. But before we get started, I already see there's a couple of questions in the chat. So let's go ahead and let's get into that first. By the way, how is that music project you're working on? The new song you said you were going to leak the art for the cover next Thursday, right? So the original plan is to do it this week, possibly on Friday. Kind of up in the air right now. Still trying to figure out some of the logistical stuff. Usually I have everything prepared. Currently working on editing content. We have a lyric video coming. We have a visualizer coming for the song. A lot of great things. Sunday, I'm going to be doing a photo shoot. And so I'm very excited. We have a lot in the works. It's very exciting. Good for Nothing is the name of the single I'm going to be leaking on Friday. It is an EDM song, so we're going to be straying away from R&B for just a single and then going back into hip hop, R&B, rap. So I'm very excited about this song. I've been wanting to leak this song for a long time. So I'm glad that the time has finally came. Yeah, so hopefully we get that going on Friday. And if not, totally okay. We will either way, it's gonna be coming out very, very soon. Again, don't forget to hit that like button. Okay, you're already here. Might as well hit the like. It is a busy week. Okay. Favorite birthday activity? Yes, as all of you can recall, my birthday was this past Saturday. It was super fun. I had a dinner, went to Dave and Buster's, which is basically an arcade, played some games, drank, took shots. It was really nice. It was really, really good. And then I actually went to 2 hockey games. So I went to one hockey game on Friday, and then I went to another hockey game yesterday, and those were super fun as well. Thank you to my boyfriend for taking me, inviting me, and providing transportation because that's him. He's amazing. Thank you to you. And I have to say, the favorite birthday activity out of all of them must have been Saturday because that was when I was like, that's when I felt the most love. That's when I felt the most love for sure. And so that was a time. Okay, a time was had that Saturday. And I'm thinking about doing another birthday celebration, but I have my friend's birthday coming up, so I'm super excited about that. Um, Jeffrey, yo, what's up? How you doing? Oh my gosh, there's a familiar face. The thing about people I meet on live and subscribe is after they see my live is most of the time my experience is that I've only seen them come back like one time. And so like usually, I kind of go live and assume that I'm never going to see that person again. I know that's probably a horrible assumption, but that's what I do. um, so let's take a look here. Definitely want to make a song live. Ooh, WWE, nice. I love that for you. Are you into sports? Must mean you're into sports, yeah? So, yes, my schedule is full. Sunday is the photo shoot. Friday is supposed to be the drop for the cover art for the new song. And I want to remind y'all, if you haven't yet, leave a like and a comment on my latest single, Your Love. The lyric video is officially out. The visualizer is also out. Make sure you do that. Okay, that helps me a lot, especially as a small independent artist to trigger the algorithm. I would love to know your thoughts. So please, 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 when you get a second after this live, I really highly encourage you to go leave a like and a comment on your love. Okay. Let's see here. Um, okay. Do Americans still follow the old Canadian saying about you went to a fight once and a hockey game broke out? Actually, yes. The saying, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard that saying, but when I go to hockey games, it's pretty in my experience, it's pretty normal that a fight breaks out. And it's entertainment at the end of the day, right? So it's entertainment, it is, but after a while it gets old. Like I'm just like, man, like I came here to watch y'all win. I didn't come here to watch you fight. If I wanted to watch you fight, I would watch like WWE, right? Like I would watch some sort of live entertainment wrestling or something like that. So anyway, I'm doing good, Jeffrey. Thank you for asking. It's I think I already addressed this, but yeah, I had my birthday last Saturday, this past Saturday. So that was really, really good. And I had a lot of fun. I was surrounded by great people. Um, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, big football fan. Okay, nice, nice. Yeah, I'm starting to get into sports just a little bit slowly but surely. I never was a really big like sports person. And my boyfriend is huge on sports, so I've been going to hockey games. And so that's been a thing. Hockey games, and I also went to softball games as well. So that's kind of been a thing that I've been doing most recently, and I actually really enjoy it. I actually really enjoy the hockey one specifically because I don't know. The thing is like when people go to games, people go to games, they talk, they, whatever. But me, when I go to games, I'm laser focused. So like when I go to a game, I don't talk. I don't like to be, sometimes I don't even like to be spoken to. I'm there to watch the game, okay? And maybe eat food if the food is good. But if I'm just being honest, the food at the arenas have not been it. Okay, it hasn't been it. At least that's what I've heard. So, but the food that's at what's up? T-Mobile Park, where the Mariners play, their food is good. I like their food. So there's that. They were near JoJo tonight in Buffalo. Nice. Okay. I had a breakdown today. I got the Let Me Chill gummies by Kourtney Kardashian, and unfortunately it didn't help. What? That's crazy. I know on your coast there's a lot of teams to watch in sports. There is. There's a lot. There's variety. There's a lot of different sports teams here. Yeah. Okay. So I went over the questions in the chat. So let's get into why we're really here, people, because we're here to talk about mental health. We're doing a mental health check-in. Okay. make sure to refer to the pinned message that Tanaka-san, my moderator, put. Okay, might be a little bit of a sensitive topic, but like I mentioned earlier, for those of you who might not have heard it, mental health is one of those things where you kind of ease in. You don't go full blown, right? Because sometimes that could be a lot for people. But I just want to start off this live by saying that mental health is incredibly important to me, and especially mental health for LGBTQ plus identifying people. I think it's incredibly important. I think it's important that we talk about it a lot more and make it more the forefront of the conversation when we talk about health and wellness. I think that's super important because these are conversations that I don't necessarily hear in spaces. So I wanted to use my platform, not just on my YouTube live, but I also use my platform across my social media, like on my Instagram stories. And even when I perform live, I take a second to talk about mental health. And so I wanted to do a check in and ask how everybody is doing today. Just something super easy, and maybe like a break, like an icebreaker. So, how are you doing? And icebreaker question. I really like the question that Jason posted here. What is your favorite self care activity? Let me know in the chat what your favorite self care activity is. I'll give people a couple of minutes to type their response. Okay, so Jason says reading, music. Okay. Like playing music or listening to music? I do meditation and listening to music. Okay. Nice, nice. I love that. Listening to music, catching a vibe of you and tree. Okay, both. I listen and write music. I don't perform it though. You should. You should think about performing it. That'd be awesome if you did. I would love to take a listen too if you ever record it. Um, okay, great. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. I think my favorite self-care activity is doing music. Like, I think that with music comes a lot of because I have creative freedom as an independent artist, I'm able to kind of write freely about things that really impact me. Things that I feel like maybe other people can relate to. So that's my favorite self-care activity. My friend, moderator, how's everybody feeling? Everybody mentally okay? Just want to check in with all of you guys, making sure if you're feeling sad, you know that we're all here for you. In fact, if you're feeling sad, thank you so much, Tanaka-san, for saying that. You should listen to some of his music. It's very uplifting and will help you feel better. Trust me. Thank you. Thank you. So let me tell you all something about me, okay? So here's the thing. The people in this room, for the most part, I want to say about three-fourths of you are pretty new to me. You don't know much about me. You don't know maybe necessarily kind of my story or maybe haven't listened to a lot of my music. And so the reason why I do mental health check-ins is I kind of started it from a long time ago. My music is about mental health. That's the short answer. The last EP I recorded and released, it's called I'm Still Healing. Okay, it's out on all streaming platforms. It talked a lot about mental health, a lot of various issues that have to do with my well-being, a lot of really personal anecdotes and stories that are super, super personal and talked about my life in a variety of different ways. And I think that kind of where that stems from is my childhood. So I kind of grew up in I didn't grow up in the best environment. I grew up in, in an environment where everybody was trying to navigate. And sometimes when you're surrounded by adults who are trying to navigate the world, when you're younger, you look at those people, you look up to those people, right? Like the adults in your life are supposed to be the people that teach you how to be how to basically be the best version of yourself you could possibly be in more simpler terms. Yes? So, but for some of us, unfortunately, that's not the circumstance that we're born into. A lot of us are kind of born into sometimes broken situations. Single parents, being raised by a single parent, maybe not having siblings, maybe having a different living situation outside of what is considered normal, whether that's being raised by two moms, two dads, or maybe growing up with the foster care system, for example. These are things that are super, super impactful, especially when you're a younger teenager, when you're in your youth, you're growing up, you're learning about things. And then as you get older, at least for me, right? When I got older, I started to discover that people in my life, the adults in my life, are people. They're people. Like yes, they're my parents. Yes, they're my siblings and my cousins and my aunts and my uncles. But first and foremost, they are people who don't necessarily have it figured out either. And so, a lot of my childhood was spent kind of going through a lot of different things. We're gonna slowly get into it. I'm not gonna get too deep, but I went through a lot. I went through a lot, and I talk about it in podcast interviews and interviews I've done with blogs and magazines. A little bit about my youth and growing up, and how that's contributed to my music on mental health. And I know that it's maybe for some people it is deep and not surface what I just mentioned. But I think most importantly, the thing is like my EP, I'm Still Healing, stems from my childhood. It stems from talking a lot about what I went through as a child and kind of the relationships I've had over time. So on my EP, I have about 7 songs on there, and they all talk about different aspects of mental health. And I think the biggest thing I took away from that EP, and the reason why I started doing mental health check-ins, is because when I released my 2 singles, Lonely and Call Me When You Sober Up, people started to resonate. People started to resonate with the fact that my stories were very similar to the things that they were going through during that time. Okay. My EP, I'm Still Healing, like I said, came out December 2023. It was the winter time. And usually, I don't know about where you all live, but in Seattle, the weather really affects people. The weather really gets to people here, and people tend to get moody. People here take vitamin D to get their dose of like happiness. It's a common thing here in Seattle. And people started to tell me their stories. People started telling me like, "Hey, that song Lonely, that song Call Me When You Sober Up." People would even publicly comment on my single releases like, I've been sober for over a year. I haven't drank. I used to have an alcohol addiction. I used to have this, I used to have that. And that's when I realized, "Oh my gosh, like people need this type of music." I've always known that people needed music that is more than just about clubbing and partying and drinking, right? Like, I mean, my music is kind of heading towards this direction of having fun and just living life. But there will always be a part of me that goes back to that era of like this mental health EP that I did. And then I gave away two $50 Uber gift cards when I released Call Me When You're Sober Up to promote getting drunk drivers off the road and helping people make more responsible choices. Instead of drinking and driving, here's a $50 Uber gift card. Okay. And that's what I did. And that's really what began the mental health check-in, is all these people DMing me and replying and commenting on my Instagram and just saying, "Yo, I can really relate to this music." And so now we fast forward to present day. We fast forward to where I am right now. Do I see a meditation video with you collaborating? Maybe. That's why I'm a big MGK fan. Put that a lot of music about mental health that you can relate to. Yes. Yes. His music is definitely about mental health. I've heard a lot of it and I agree with you. I agree on that sentiment. Remember what Mike Posner said? I took a bill in Ibiza to show Avicii I was cool. And when I finally got sober, I felt 10 years older. But F it, it was something new. Yeah. It's a true story. So there's that, that's the industry. That's music stuff. Um, but yeah, I think the biggest thing is like, I went through a lot last year, specifically last year. And a lot of it sparked big transitional periods in my life. And I pondered a lot because sometimes when you go through something that's very difficult and you come out the other side of it, you sometimes I feel like for me, I always think, "Oh my gosh, I just went through the hardest thing. Like this is gonna be over now, right? Like I'm gonna move on to the happiest part of my life." And in some cases that is true, but sometimes life has this weird way of throwing obstacles at you when you've gone through and overcame something. If you've overcome this challenge and it felt super hard and you were able to get through it, then life kind of throws another curveball at you. And it's like, hey, you went through this, you got through it, you're alive, you're here, you're well, but let me just throw another curveball to you. I think that's super interesting about the universe. And I also think that's why it's super important to remember that what you think is super important. Um and I think for the longest time, even though I was in really bad sorry, I can't even speak English. Bad situations surrounded by not necessarily good people for me. What really helped me is to, first of all, I got into therapy. If you are not in therapy, let me tell you, therapy is great. Okay. I believe in therapy a lot. And I think that even till this day, there's still some stigma about therapy. You know, it's really it's an interesting thing, and I think that some people can't wrap their minds around paying someone to tell someone completely random about what they're going through. But I think that the flip side of that is gaining perspective. It's gaining something different than maybe the people in your life the answers that you're used to gaining from the people in your life. And so therapy has helped me a lot alongside to going to the gym. I decided to make a lifestyle change. And I'm not like a gym buff, okay? Like that's not that's not my thing. But I've been going to the gym a lot, especially last year. I moved, okay? They say that sometimes the four walls that you surround yourself with, it can talk. You ever heard that saying, if walls could talk? I believe in that. Sometimes you can remove a lot of negativity and a lot of shit away from your life, right? But if you're stuck between four walls and there's a lot of traumatic events and there's a lot of shit that's taking place in your home, where you live, places that you frequent, that you visit, sometimes that could be super traumatizing for people. And that's hard. That's hard to get over. And so there's a meme that I saw that was going on Instagram that was talking about like, go to all the places you cried at and laugh and smile, make new memories. And I love that so much. And it takes time though, right? I understand for a lot of people, especially for those of you who are watching this live, I understand that takes time. That's not an easy transition. And even the thought of, I think that making the first move is always going to be the hardest. And I encourage people when you're working on your mental health, it's super important to keep an open mind. You don't know what's going to work until you try it. Am I right or am I right? It's kind of like food. You don't know if you're going to like something until you try it. And so I've always kind of known what's right or wrong. I've always known that how you treat people is so super important, but most importantly, what was the hardest thing that therapy got me through, and I really encourage everybody here to think about, is a mindset shift. And it's okay. It's okay to have those some of those habitual habits show up where you thought that you've gone past something, and then you're just going about your day randomly, and then you think about something and it triggers something again. Like you start talking down about yourself. I think the one thing that a lot of the social media shit and people don't necessarily talk about that often is the fact of like the relapse part. Because when you are focusing on your mental health, when you're doing all those things and you're trying to work on yourself, people don't necessarily talk about how sometimes you fall back into some of those older habits, and that's okay. I think that we need to start telling people it's okay. It happens every now and then. It's not a quick change. It's not like cold turkey. You're not supposed to quit these things that often. But I really encourage people to start thinking about the one thing. We talked about the self care activity. So just trying to figure out another thing that makes you happy outside of the self-care activity, because there's that one thing, but how do you work into building these things into habit? And a lot of those things are lifestyle changes. That's what a lot of those things are about. And so for me, right, what it took is, okay, I went through this really big transitional period in my life, right? Last year, I went through a really bad breakup, really bad. Like I went through a divorce, really bad divorce, and starting to feel some of the effects of that even today. And then going and transitioning into like moving and finding a way to get out of the space that I was in, the apartment that I was sharing with this person, like getting out of there. And then, figuring out, okay, now I'm here. And then I see that there's a gym, there's various like storefronts, there's restaurants, places I've never been to. And then started building like, I go out to eat a lot. Anybody else here a big foodie? Because I go out to eat so much. I'm a foodie. Okay. I love eating. I was actually at a restaurant earlier today eating with some of my former colleagues today. And so like I started to work that into my schedule because I was just like, I already go out to eat a lot. Like that's another form of self-care because I like spending money on experiences. And for me, food is an experience. I don't care what anybody says. Okay. Food is a soul experience. Okay. And so, I started going to new restaurants. I started going to the gym. I found out my apartment has a gym. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start going to the gym, right? Make time for that. It started off as 30 minutes. I used to go to the gym for just like a little bit of like 30 minutes a day, Monday through Friday. Next thing you know, I'm going to the gym 2 times a day. Now I'm going to the gym 3 times a day, Monday through Thursday. Fridays, I go to the gym once. And then on the weekend, I give myself kind of a relaxing day or whatever to just chill, because your body needs rest. Your body needs rest from going to the gym so much and working out. You don't want to overdo it. So I started to like have this mindset shift of like, okay, like really, even though things seem really hard, like when I was going through that breakup and I was making the transition to move somewhere else, I really thought that it was the end because I had been kind of, I had just been independent for a long time and my situation was unique in the sense of like I was kind of like relying on myself a lot to get a lot of shit done. And, when you're doing that, you don't necessarily have people to turn to. Sometimes that can be super difficult. It can be really, really hard, especially if you don't have people in your life that you feel comfortable venting to or talking to, or maybe people who don't necessarily understand what it is you're going through. A lot of people in my life didn't understand what it meant to go through a divorce. A lot of people in my life still don't understand what it means to go through a divorce. I have one or two people that maybe understand. You know what I mean? One or two people. But most of the people in my life don't understand. They don't understand the mental health. They don't understand the emotional, mental, physical, spiritual effect that has on you. It's huge. It's huge. Okay. So I think that's really, it was a mindset shift of like understanding, like, hey, you did the best that you could. You, it's like, of course, there's always like, you could sit down and ponder about all the things that you could have done better. But really, it's about like, okay, like, yes, of course, with every relationship, it's kind of like everyone is kind of reflecting about the part that they played in every situation, every scenario, thinking about, well, I hope, thinking about how they could have done better, how they could approach things better. And moving forward with the sentiment of like, I did what I thought was best at the time with the information I knew in that current moment. And that's kind of when I started to snap out of it and think like, no, this isn't all just me. You know what I mean? Like some of this, some of this is I can't carry all of this heavy weight because this is also right a relationship that I had with another human being. Like there's also like let's balance the scale out. Um, and I know optimism is hard. Optimism is super, super hard. It's so hard to think positively. It's so easy to fall into bad traps and to fall into your temptations. And it's so easy to think negatively. And that's the thing. That's the thing of like understanding that you can make these changes in your life, understanding that the transitional period is always going to be hard, but it's not going to happen if you don't get started. Getting started is the hardest part. That will always be the hardest part. And but once you get into the habit and you start figuring out these little steps, and you start to find who you are. You start to find what your strengths are. You know what I mean? And don't be in relationships, don't be around people that make you uncomfortable to be yourself. Like, go to where the love is. Go to where you are valued. Sometimes that's not family, and that's the reality that a lot of people don't wanna talk about. Sometimes your blood family aren't necessarily the best people to go to for that sort of guidance. You know? I found a lot of that guidance through my therapist. I found that guidance in other people that's not my blood family, and that's totally okay. It's totally okay. Sometimes you have to better yourself to have capacity to be better to other people, and for other people to be better to you, okay? Um, and so keeping that optimism is really hard, but that's why it's important to curate spaces like this. So we sit, we talk about these things, we work through them together. Working on your mental health, working on making that mindset shift doesn't mean you have to do it alone. There's people out there who do support you, who do love you. Remember that. Maybe there are people you haven't met just yet, but those people exist and they do care. They do care. When I was going through a lot of the stuff I went through last year, I didn't think people cared because I had a high expectation. So also remember to keep it realistic. Not people want to be there for you. They want to cater to you. They want to help, but also do that heavy lifting too. Don't always rely on other people to do that for you. Carries a lot of that weight yourself as well. I think that's also really important. Um, okay, so I'm gonna take a break there, and I'm gonna go over to the chat. There's a very sad story regarding mental health that I can share regarding a different talent agency and one of their talents who tried to kill herself twice and that was ultimately terminated. But the company wrongfully, there's a happy ending to this, but to cover it all up, the company had a live stream, a black screen, and stated that the termination of her would be negotiable on the company. But by how they said it, they basically said that her life was negligible to them. Work life balance is super important. Being able to find a company who cares about your mental health is super hard. Super hard. Luckily, she got the help she needed. It and now has a great support system and devoted fans. And the fact is that 200,000 plus followers on YouTube and 1.8 million on Twitter. Wow, that's a big deal. That's a great, great comeback story. Great comeback story and a great example of being able to work through things, you know, and finding the strength to do that. I order in too much. Also, I go out to eat a lot, so I totally get it. I'm notorious for going out to eat. It's a thing that I do. I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to cook at home more, but cooking is not, I'm gonna just be honest with you. Cooking is not necessarily my passion, but I know it's good. It's good to do that. And I can throw down a little bit. Um, I used to really, yeah. I'm divorced. I understand you. Okay, Tanaka-san, thank you for sharing that very vulnerable information with us. I understand the emotional and mental baggage. I'm with you, man. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Jason says, thank you for sharing. Toxic masculinity has improved but has taken steps backwards. It's an obvious change in American leadership. You're so right, Sarey. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes there's outside factors that you don't subscribe to that automatically like budge you to basically force you to determine what your worth is, and that's hard too. The quote, the Black Eyed Peas, "Where is the love? Where is the people killing, people dying, children hurt, and hear them crying? Practice what you preach and turn the other cheek." Especially if it's a company from Asia, mental health is not a widely spoken topic here. Yes, I've heard that's a huge thing in Asia, and that I hope that the industry chooses to not turn a blind eye to that. I really hope not. And I think it also takes, especially the people who have the bigger platforms, to talk about it too. Like I think it's super important for leaders, for influencers, for people who have social social wealth, people who have a fan base, people who have resources, people who have connections, people who are better off, to take it upon themselves to talk about it and to initiate and start that conversation. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I knew that eventually I had to be the person to talk about that. I knew that. Because I know that that's a very hard thing for people to speak about. Mental health is a very sensitive subject, and it's hard. It's hard for people to talk about that shit because that shit really gets to you. They're called black companies. Oh, okay. Okay. You learn something new every day on these live streams, I swear. Um, so yeah, kind of going off of what I was saying, about the mindset shift and then talking about optimism and all those things. I just want you all to know that this my platform, my space will always be a safe place to talk about mental health. It'll always be a safe space for people to come and just converse and find community. I really think that's super important. Um, I really appreciate the fact that my fans have been super receptive to conversations about mental health and conversations about, especially when I gave away the Uber gift card and I talked about alcohol addiction. Alcohol addiction is huge. It's a big thing, and a lot of people who are alcoholics will not admit or don't think they are. Of course, on the outside looking in, right, we can say that there's a different perspective, and that's important too, right? Super important for people in their life to help them kind of get to that realization and give them guidance. I think that's super important. Hello, Emmanuel. Welcome in. Welcome in. The only time people talk about mental health is with their therapist because they believe it's confidential. If everybody just openly talked about it, they'd be a lot less mentally depressed people. I agree. You know, the thing is that mental health subjects about mental health, talking about mental health in general, could be very heavy baggage for people. I know that there are, I think, I know that there are people who, there's a lot of people I know that kind of keep things to themselves. What good does that do to your body? What good does that do to your mind, body, and spirit? That doesn't do you any good. There are people out there who, like I mentioned earlier, who want to listen, who want to be there, but also understand there's a trust component and that as well. And that's super important. It's super important to find people you could trust and talk to. I think, yeah, so now I'm making this transition from, being an artist that talks a lot about mental health. I still do. I still have a lot of songs that are about mental health, different aspects of mental health, anxiety, you know, just struggling to find happiness, struggling to find optimism, and I've kind of shifted my focus over to empowerment because the mental health stuff, the mental health music, I love that, and it's always going to be important to me. But I also think it's important to empower people, and I think that's another part of mental health that we don't necessarily we should shed a light on too. Is like remembering, like, yo, like we got to be here for these people and that sense of like letting people vent but also like finding space, finding time, being intentional with uplifting people and helping people see their worth. I think that's super important too, and so I made the shift over musically as well. If you take a listen to my catalog from I'm Still Healing and then you navigate to present day, you will hear a shift sonically, lyrically. It's crazy. You will see that and hear that the imagery, the music, the vibe is just different. I went from having all these sad ass music, right? All this sad ass music. And I it will always hold a special place in my heart because that music is what really made me. That's the music I wish was played on the radio. I wish music like Call Me When You Sober Up. I wish titles like that were popular in music. You know, things that really just get people to like wake the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's what we need. We need to wake the fuck up about this mental health shit. So now, present day, you see the images, right? If you go through my catalog, you will see it used to be black, it used to be blue, it used to be super like uh kind of like darker tones, moodier, more atmospheric, like a lot of more depth concepts. And then now the imagery, starting with your energy that I released just last year, the imagery has changed. It is now full of color. It's now more upbeat. It's more happy. It's more focused on shifting that perspective and helping people realize that there's more to life than just being blue. There's a lot more. And now making it more known about my sexuality through the cover art and incorporating all of these like elements is super important. When people see imagery, they get a feeling. They get a gut feeling. And I think that when you are trying to be intentional with your music, when you are trying to, you know, um, capture somebody, their attention. I think your imagery is a lot of the times with music, it's kind of where it starts, like the title, the imagery, before they even click play. And so I knew that for my rebrand that I wanted to do, and I knew for the next era, I wanted it to be more positive, more happy. And so I knew that inherently I would have to switch over color palettes and come up with new color schemes and come up with different positions and come up with different angles and come up with different ways and even with content promoting the music. I knew I had to make a shift so that people would understand that this is a new area and that new era and we're going to be focusing on something more uplifting, more empowerment focused. So there's that. Nothing, it's pride, it's selfish pride. That's why they keep it to themselves. They're too prideful to get help. That's a really big thing, unfortunately. It's really sad. Speaking of mental health, what was your opinion of Logic's suicide prevention song? I love that song. I love that song. The 1-800 song, which, by the way, that is the number to call if you or someone you know and love is having extreme mental health crisis. Please do call that hotline. Thank you, Tanaka-san, for putting that in there. I think it was really, it was important. I think it's a very important song, and I think that it's great that the song is mainstream and had the big platforms that it did. I think it was incredibly crucial. And I think that there's a shift in music right now where people are starting to be more and more open lyrically and anecdotally about the things that are going on in their lives and being open to talking about it. And you're right, people did make fun of him, and people thought it was funny, but that's what the messed up thing is, right? But I also think the flip side, I'm not a psychologist, but I also think the flip side is I think it also made people uncomfortable. It made people uncomfortable to see a extreme mental health crisis number as a song title. I think it triggered a lot of things for a lot of people, but it also, started a conversation on a big scale. And so that's what my previous music aimed to do, and that's what I'll continue to do in the future. And I think that there's a lot of music I'm working on for my next project that's going to be talking about different aspects of mental health again. So the music that people know and love me by is coming back. I know that people love and enjoy the music I'm putting out now, but I also know that a lot of people missed the mental health aspect. I think a lot of people missed that part. And my response is always like, am I supposed to be sad all the time? Because I don't want to be sad all the time. I don't want to be writing sad music all the time, right? Like I want to with life experiences, like I start to evolve. My pen game starts to evolve, and so does my stories. I have different stories to tell. But like I said, my next project will have a lot of mental health music in it, and I think it's going to be really important, and it's going to be even more personal, which is crazy because I thought that my EP I'm Still Healing was already very very personal, which it is. But I think that this project and the music that's coming from it is going to be an even bigger, more personal deal. I think that there's going to be a lot of people who resonate with a lot of the topics that I talk about. Because mental, yeah, I just feel like this music is going to really capture people's attention in terms of like, oh my god, I can't believe he's talking about me. Like I want the music to feel like I'm sitting down next to you and I'm telling you about your life. Basically, like I don't even have to be there to know what you're going through. By the way, if you haven't liked this live, there's 5 people in here. Make sure to give this live a like. Okay. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it. Um, channel activity. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate y'all so much. Um, Swift, Bieber, etc. Do you remember the song about same-sex marriage? Was it Macklemore or Sam Smith? I can't remember which one called Same Love. Talk about life and real challenges. Yeah. Yes, it was Macklemore. Mm-hmm. Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. And Mary Lambert. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The quote, the American Broadway classic Hamilton. I'll tell you what I wish I had known when I was young and seeking glory. You have no control over who lives, who dies, who tells your story. It's deep. It's deep stuff, man. Super, super deep. So yeah, I just want to leave you all with the encouragement of like, don't, the change really starts within us. And it's little. Start little by little. Okay. When I say mindset shift, I'm not expecting you to stop eating sugar or to cut away all the foods you normally eat right now and start your calorie deficit tomorrow. I'm talking about like gradual changes. Okay. If you thought about going to the gym, start going to the gym for 30 minutes a day or every other day, or even maybe try it one day out of the week, see how you feel. If you really enjoy eating out a lot like I do, because I love to eat out. If you're gonna eat out, start eating out at healthier restaurants that offer, fresh produce in their meals, or opting for more vegetables and protein rather than carbs. Really gradual, small changes. Okay. I'm a workaholic. So something I've been trying to do is find that work life balance in terms of like, okay, I'm going to intentionally set these days aside to not do anything music related. I'm going to just spend this day doing relaxing, Netflix binging. I have days where I really want to do that, but my mind can't do that. My mind has to work. And so usually when I have those days, I become more mindful about the frequency of my breaks. So I will take breaks more often if I cannot take a whole day to just relax. So it's really about that. And I really appreciate everyone who has came, who has care, who cares about mental health, who cares to sit and listen to me talk about this shit. Because it's not something that I feel like a lot of people would want to, talk about or kind of face. A lot of people don't like facing the truth about their overall health and wellness. And then, they later get hit realizing that, oh shit, like it's too late to do something, or it's, like, or something becomes permanent and there's no way to reverse it or fix it. So there's that. There's that. You'll have to give me some recommendations for restaurants when I come in for your concert. Um, Tanaka-san, are you really coming to the concert? Are you for real coming April 6th? You know you're a workaholic and I'm an alcoholic. That's why we work so good together. You keep me on my toes so I don't have time to drink in a way. You're my sobriety. Thank you, Tanaka-san. Thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. You're an amazing and well-spoken person, impressive and genuine. Thank you. Thank you so much. Adulthood is the worst hood I ever been in. Yeah, it's hard. Adulthood is hard. You have to get into you have to get into a routine. You have to find stable routine and figure it out from there. It's super hard. You and Emmanuel help keep me sober by keeping me on my toes and giving me stuff to do for you guys. Thank you. You're welcome. I really appreciate that. I'm happy. I'm happy that you feel that way. That means a lot. Um, yeah. What a great live. What a great talk. I need to figure out this OBS thing because how would y'all feel if we played games like if I sent out to y'all like a link for us to play games and I could share my screen so everybody could see it. Will y'all be down for something like that? Because that'd be super fun. If I could do that through OBS, I think it'd be super fun to play games with fans. Oh my gosh. That'd be dope. Have I been to Emmanuel's hood? Oh wow, honored. Respect to you, Sarey, for always being you as a person. Thank you. Thank you so much. What's going on with OBS now? I'm still figuring it out, friend. I've been taking it one day at a time. Like I said, I've been trying to put time aside and aside intentionally to be able to work on the the Twitch stuff. I'm moving slow, but like I said, gradual. Um, okay. Question: have you ever played Uno online? I haven't. That's something it's fun to do with fans. Also playing Among Us. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna send out an email blast to all of the fans, and I'll also post it on my Instagram story and be like, "Hey, who wants to play games with me live?" Because I really want to find innovative ways and fun ways to connect with fans. That'd be awesome. That'd be really, really cool. Don't forget, just in case I miss y'all, there's 6 people in here. 6 people in here. Listen. If you haven't already, please hit a thumbs up on this live if you enjoy talking about mental health or you enjoy listening to people talk about mental health, or if mental health is super important to you, please click a thumbs up on this live. Okay. More people deserve to see stuff like this. I think it's super important. Oh yeah, Among Us. That'd be dope to just play Among Us with people. Oh, that'd be so fun. So basically, I'm turning my YouTube lives into a Twitch. Basically, like without going to Twitch. That's something that's fun to do. Those are the 2 main games that a lot of people play with their friends, especially viral YouTubers. Nice. Music Kahoot, that would be fun. Just started a new book, American Nations is so good. Yes, American Nations. I've heard about the book, but I haven't read it. But from what I heard from a synopsis from a friend, it sounds really good. You can invite your fans. You can invite fans to your live once you are monetized and if they have the correct amount of followers and meet the qualifications. Nice. So let's get there. Let's get there. Could set up a Minecraft server. Among Us is dope. Yeah, because what I'm thinking is I can share my screen, right? And I could go while I'm on live, share my screen, put the Among Us up on the tab, and then send people the invite code, like put it in the chat and stuff. So I wouldn't be able to go live with fans, but I would be able to play with them while on live. I think that'd be really cool. So I think I'm gonna pitch that. I'm gonna pitch that to the fans and see what they think. Because I think that'd be fun. That'd be interactive. Also, I'm figuring out how to set up a community on my website. Another new thing. Monthly subscriptions for people to get exclusive content. Not sure exactly what I'm gonna do just yet, but also an idea I'm thinking about. I'm also thinking about doing more contests, giveaways. If you haven't already, make sure if you are in Seattle and you have nothing to do on April 6th, Okay, that is a Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. I will be performing stripped down versions of some of the songs from my catalog at Dubsy Coffee. Tickets are $20 a piece. Like I said, doors open at 4 p.m. This is an all ages show. Okay. And all ages show is not necessarily my thing. So I just want to preface that. Okay. So that's how big of a deal this is. And it's in my hometown. This is my first show in my hometown. So I highly recommend, if you haven't already bought your tickets, make sure to go buy your tickets. Tanaka-san, can you please link my website? It's sareymusic.com. That's where you can buy your tickets. Please, please buy your tickets. Come hang out. Come check out the show. Come meet with me after the show is over. I'd be more than happy to talk to fans, show you merch, all that stuff. It's going to be a really good time. It's going to be a great time. I'm not going to be around for the April 6th show, but I will be making the other show. Got it. So the other show, Tanaka-san, just a heads up, I'm going to be announcing another show in the future, and that show is 21 and over only. Tanaka-san, are you 21 and over? Because that is a 21 and over show. Okay? More details about that later. More details about that later. Thank you, Tanaka-san. Thank you. So I'm excited for that one. Like I said, more details later. And more music is coming. Very excited about this new music. In fact, I just got an audio message from someone who's working on the cover art and visualizer for me. So I'm going to be checking that out to see what the status update is on that. Also, once again, don't forget, leave a like and a comment on the lyric video version of my new single, Your Love. It's out on my YouTube channel. Please, please, please let me know what you think. Helps trigger the algorithm for small artists like me. And yeah, I think that's all I have for tonight. So okay, so let's talk about my next live. I think my next live, I will do it. Oh yeah, that's right. You better, okay, listen, don't play with me. You better come, if you come to the next show, do not play with me. Okay? I don't know how we're gonna communicate, how we're gonna get in contact, none of that stuff, but we'll figure it out, right? We'll figure it out. But listen, y'all, thank you so much for coming into my live stream. I really appreciate it. I think the next time I'm gonna go live, let's see. Next time I'm gonna go live is most likely gonna be okay, cool. So I think I will go live on Friday. I'll go live on Friday at about 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That time, hopefully I'll have OBS figured out, but if not, I'm just gonna leave that to the side for now and kind of figure that out as I go. But I will be live this upcoming Friday. Okay, that is March 7th. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Retract. I'll go live on Thursday, March 6th at, let's do a little bit earlier this time, should we? Let's do like a 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. Thursday. Okay, I will see y'all there. All right, I will schedule the live stream, and I look forward to hanging out with y'all again. Thank you so much for coming to my live. Thank you. I love y'all so much. I really appreciate y'all coming here. Ninja Penguin Mamaru was on Japanese television when I was about between the ages of 8 and 10. Oh, wow. That's awesome. All right. This has been amazing. Great job, Sarey, discussing a very important and vulnerable topic. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. I will see you all Thursday, March 6th, 7 p.m. I love you. Have a good day or night wherever you are. Bye.